Cultural context explains so much in the Bible. Please help me understand Luke chapter 7 and Matthew chapter 8, the Centurion servant. Absolutely. I know exactly what their problem is, and so I'm going to help you understand it too. This is another one of those supposed contradictions, and it's very understandable once you understand the culture. So Matthew 8, just verse 5, says, "When he had entered Capernaum," Jesus, "a centurion came forward to him, appealing to him." Okay. Now, Luke chapter 7, verses 2 and 3 says, "Now a centurion had a servant who was sick and at the point of death, who was highly valued by him. When the centurion heard about Jesus, he sent to him the elders of the Jews, asking him to come and heal his servant." Okay, so which is it? Did the centurion come, or did the elders come? Both. If I say I talked to my friend on the telephone, you know exactly what I meant. But what if I just said I talked to my friend? Well, technically I didn't. I talked to the telephone, and the telephone talked to him, and he talked to the telephone, and my telephone talked to me. But we know exactly what I meant. One thing we have to understand is that in ancient culture, if you were sent as the representative of a powerful person, then you practically were that person. For authority's sake. You were given representation. It meant a lot more back then than it does now. Him saying, "Will you go and talk to Jesus and tell him to heal my servant," is just the same as him going himself. But also what we have to understand is that Matthew was telling the story for the sake of helping them understand what Jesus did and his power and authority. He was writing to the Jews. He wanted them to understand he was God and the Messiah. But Luke intentionally even tells us at the beginning of Luke that he got his story from eyewitnesses. He wanted to give a fully detailed report. He wanted to get as many details as possible. So you will find a lot of information that is similar between Matthew, Mark, and Luke. But Luke is always the most detailed because he went and talked to the eyewitnesses and said, "Okay, tell me exactly what happened." Back then they completely understood the authority that the centurion was giving these Jewish elders.